Hey everybody, this is Joe and I'm coming to you from my Houston, Texas garden, and I'm in zone 9A, and I just thought I'd give you a walk around in the middle of November and see what's going on. This is my kitchen window view, and I do have a lot of things growing out here, but I really enjoy the different leaf shapes. This versus this. I've got this little down here. I've got these big tall. Then I've got the big grass in the background. And so even though it's not a riot of color like the spring, I can rely on the shapes. And I really like the shape of the sort of the trunk of that big rose. It kind of went drunk uncle on me a long time ago and started leaning, and so I just sort of let it lean. So anyway, let's take a look at what's going on. And look, there's Mrs. Doubtfire, who immediately came to see us. Hello, pumpkin. Well, because it's Texas, and because it's South Texas on the Gulf Coast, I'm still planting seeds. And so I've got some, it's mostly at this point pansies and violas. And then I have a couple of other things going. But I did plant a whole new batch of pansies. I found them in my seed box and I hadn't planted them. And then I've got, so many things have self-seeded from last year. Now I planted this I bought it, but I've looked around. This is just parsley, and the swallowtail caterpillars like it. But I'm also noticing, I also accidentally pulled one up. There's a little one there. There's things that have self-seeded. Of course, these have seeded in the gravel, and there's some more in the gravel, but I've got so many things, and I've got some blue bonnets, Texas blue bonnets coming up, and then I have all of this, and I don't remember if I put seeds in here or if that's a weed. I have no idea, but it's all along here, so we'll find out, I suppose. I've got a complaint for the illustrator of the Lilliput zinnia package, because if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I am not a fan. I love orange roses, orange flowers, but not in this garden. They're not in my color scheme. And like 80% of the flowers from that seed packet, all orange. But, I saw a butterfly on them the other day, so I'm leaving them and just knuckling under. And then I bought a lot of and planted them. This is Echinacea pallida, which is it's native to Texas, but more I kind of think more like Kansas. And this, my favorite coneflower, is actually hybridized with that and another one. And so those will have the really thin leaves, but they will droop down even more. And I just think they're cool. And then here's another thing that's self-seeded. I had humongous cleomes and last year, and they seeded everywhere. So now I'm just sort of pulling them back up. And I put my second round of just carrots. I bought carrots at the grocery store and put them in. I did this last year, and they had the most beautiful flowers in the spring. It was really fun. I've tried to put them in a month ago, and the squirrels ate every single one of them. So now I have my little cage to put over them to try to keep the squirrels out. And then the other thing that I did today was I had a buddleia back here, and it died in the summer. And that's sort of why I bought this cute pot, so that I could sort of camouflage. The stump was just this terrible stump, and it was so hot I didn't feel like digging it up, so I just camouflaged it. And so I put that there. I put this little tutor in here, and the sweet potato vine covered it up. And so today I got in and clipped out the sweet potato vine, and I had found it's not the same variety, but I think it's going to be close. And I even have, hopefully, the tag. Let's see what it's called. It's called Pugster Amethyst Butterfly Bush. And so it's going to be a pale lavender, and it's a dwarf variety, which the last one was dwarf variety, and it's still got about almost 5 feet tall. So that's perfect for this garden. And then I love this Mexican bush sage. When it gets chilly, I swear it goes a darker purple. And so I just think it's looking beautiful, even though it's flopping all over the place and it's a hot mess. But it has allowed me to see more of the grasses because they were sort of fighting with each other for attention. All right. Oh, I had this wacky thing happen. If anybody knows, I had a purple coneflower that just came out green, and I don't know why, and I'm kind of wondering if this one's going to be kind of green. Anyway, I don't know why that would happen, but if anybody's got an idea about what that is, I'd love to know. Oh, and see, here I am walking by. There's another flat leaf parsley right next to a little coneflower. And I'm noticing that this fennel is getting ready to bloom. And I think that'll just be really pretty. And it seems to be pretty cold hardy. And of course, this is Texas. So, it might freeze in a couple of weeks. It might not freeze until January. It might not freeze the whole winter. We never know. We usually get a couple of freezes. But, we've definitely had years where we had no freeze at all. This is that nearly wild rose, and it's bounced back from having spider mites really nicely. And I've got this volunteer, another self-seeder, a volunteer milkweed. I think that might be a balloon milkweed. I had one last year and it died. I don't know why. And this just sort of came up. It's getting ready to bloom, and it's kind of the same size and shape and the right color flower. So, it had huge seed pods, those balloons, balloon-shaped seed pods. And so it's certainly a possibility that that's what that is. And then more self-seeders, and I helped it along. I did put some more seeds out here. Those are Texas bluebonnets, and I've got some coming up in, which I would rather have, and a lot coming up in the gravel. I'd rather have them in the actual flower bed. But here are more bluebonnets, Texas bluebonnets. Those are just a little bitty lupin, little blue lupin that will cover the hillsides in the spring, and people from all over Texas will drive out to the central Texas and take a drive and see all the flowers, and sometimes bring your kids and take their pictures in it. They're amazing. Now, these are the little oh gosh, what are those? Coreopsis, landsleep coreopsis. And I'm letting it in grudgingly because it's a pale yellow and not the regular bright yellow. And so they're all just getting ready to bloom. And I bought 2 more because I'm still me. And then here's our native swamp milkweed. That's looking really good in here as well. Let's see, was I going to show you anything over here? I'm going to keep walking over here. I have divided my Peter's Purple Monarda and chopped a big hunk of it out and put it back here, and I'm hoping that'll come up. And there's another dwarf Barbados cherry back there, like the one in the front yard. And then way back there is a Duranta that I couldn't stop myself from buying, and then realized it was going to get really big and I didn't have anywhere to put it. So way back there is my answer to that problem. And then there are a whole lot of things that I have dug up from the front and moved. And so there's a lot of new, sort of ruffled up, dug up dirt. This is Souvenir de Saint Anne. I just think it's so, so pretty. Look how delicate that is. Now these flowers last maybe 2 days, but here we are. I bet the flowers, this is Mrs. B.R. Cant. And I bet the flowers on this thing last a week, maybe even 10 days. And it's still going strong. It looks so pretty. I just love the little cabbagey looking flowers. And they're just everywhere up there. But they stay on the bush for so long. I bet I've got flowers that have been flowered that have been open for, I bet they've been open 10 days. Well, I put in all the digitalis. I don't know why I can't think of the name of anything while I'm making this video today. Foxgloves. I have to buy them already big and going. It doesn't quite get cold enough. They'll be fine here and bloom in the spring, but I really can't grow them from seed. They need a cold year. This huge clump, which is kind of messy right now, is all the agapanthus that was in the front yard. So that all got moved. And then there, right up here, are some daylilies that I moved from the front yard. Here's what I'm happy about. These are little Texas, it's a native wildflower. I'm sure it's native to all kinds of places in the United States. But it's just kind of been limping along, but it's starting to kind of come out. And there's one there. Here's another nice one here. And those will bloom early spring. And here's another one here. And those are wine cups. These are all purple irises that may or may not be happy there, but they were all in the front yard. And so that's something else we dug up out of the front bed. And then, of course, the asters that I was so excited about last week, they are still looking so pretty. And this is another thing that at the went early last week, to the in Austin, to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. And they were just everywhere and just stunning. They had them in big pots and big barrels. And gosh, they were wonderful. I trimmed down my big blue salvias, and they have popped back up, sprung back to life. This is Souvenir de la Malmaison, which this one's a little bit ratty, that flower, but it's really got a lot of buds on it. I thought they'd be out by now, but they're taking their time. Coming out. This little thing, I couldn't remember the name of it last time I made a video. It's called Clotilde Super, which is French, and so I'm using my little French accent, just like Nestlé Toulouse. If you're the same age as me, you know that reference. Anyway, it's just turned out so pretty. It never looked good, and I moved it here about a year ago, and I'm so excited. It's like I knew it was going to be pretty, but I couldn't make it look pretty. And it's like the tiniest little, I think it's a sport of Souvenir de la Malmaison. So you see how tiny that is, but it looks just like this one over here. That's so big. So, oh gosh, where's my focus? Anyway, I still got some zinnias. I haven't seen any butterflies in a while now. Boy, they were everywhere in Austin last Monday. So 10 days ago. But gosh, I'm not seeing any. I've seen like one bee today. I think it's just too chilly. More carrots, and I have put, gosh, probably 10 different kinds of poppy seeds in here. I had like 3 poppies come up last year, and I was so excited about it that I was like, lost my head and absolutely bought so many poppy seeds. This thing gets prettier and prettier every day, and taller and taller every day. I've got our cute little scabiosa, which is just so pretty. I just love it. And it bloomed. I looked back at old pictures. It really bloomed all winter last year. Here's another volunteer milkweed, I think. I don't know what kind it is. It kind of seems a little different than the other one, so we'll kind of see what happens on that one. And here's that incredible Mexican bush sage. And you can see it just, I swear, when it gets cold, it gets darker. It just deepens into this really, really beautiful deep purple. And I've moved a few little plants around. I moved this over here, this wonderful coleus. I needed to try to have a little bit of a star position there for something that's really pretty. And the thing that has been pretty all year is looking kind of sad. So I've moved that. And then I've got more carrots. And then that is another different variety of Monarda that didn't bloom last year. I grew it from seed, and so we'll see if it takes hold. And then you can see this huge Amistad salvia, which I just whacked way down. It's just come back really beautifully. And then I've got my little Gulf Coast penstemon, which I think is such a pretty little flower. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Look how pretty that is. And so I'm trying to establish a little clump of them here. This one, I had a big gap. Something must have died there, so I just moved those. So it was a great looking plant. Now it looks a little sad today. So I've sort of moved some things around. And then I'm gonna end, gosh, the winter, it's getting dark so fast. My goodness. I bought a passion vine at the store 2 days ago. If you can imagine me driving home with that in my Mini Cooper. But look at this. It already has a Gulf fritillary butterfly chrysalis. Let's see if I can, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I was so careful in the car. And Houston has such bumpy streets. Then here I got to have two little caterpillars that came along with me. Let's see if I can get him. It really did get dark fast. Let's see if I can get him in focus. Where'd he go? Well, I'll have to show him to you next week. Well, who knows if he'll even be here next week. Let's see. And there's another one. Let's see if I can get a picture of that little guy. There he is. I'll put my hand behind him. See if I can get him to be in focus. Come on now. There he is. Isn't he cute? And then I wanted to show you how well camouflaged. So here's the chrysalis right here. But look just a little bit up. These things, that's all just dead leaves. Right there and up there, it's all just dead leaves. But I was so careful. I was worried that I thought maybe I had more than one. But I just thought, what an amazing little thing. Here's some more. They look like chrysalises, but they're just dead leaves. So anyway, that's gonna go down the driveway. Well, perhaps I should end on our friend, Mrs. Doubtfire, who has been very sulky today and follow me around. She doesn't let me pet her or touch her ever. She's a feral cat, aren't you? But she meows at me and follows me. Are you a sweet baby? Case in point. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great Thanksgiving next week. Thanks for looking. Bye-bye.